Hi everyone, my name is Sam Oxtein and I live in South Bend, Indiana, home to the University of Notre Dame and also the Evil Czech Brewery, which might very well be one of my favorite places in our city to hang out. My wife, Jen, and I have been married for 14 years and we live in a great little neighborhood called the North Shore Triangle, which is really close to downtown, and we have a yellow lab named Amos. I've been in church ministry and leadership since 2006 and served as a senior pastor since 2008. I'm currently the senior pastor at Hillside Missionary Church right here in South Bend. We're a very small, quirky little community that on my best days I see as a beautiful microcosm of the kingdom as we learn together how to live and love in the way of Jesus. I'm starting in the second year of the MDiv program here at Fuller, and I have previously completed both a Master of Ministries and an MA in Theological Studies from Bethel College in Indiana. When I think about what worship means to me, the first thing that comes to mind is that in some sense, all of life is worship. We're living a story, a life song to God that's a response to God's work in the world and our lives. I've been significantly influenced by Robert Webber and his ancient future vision for the evangelical church. Webber was fond of saying that worship does God's story. I think there's something really profound about that, and I think part of worship is about us being participants in the cosmic redemptive story God's unfolding in history and that culminated in the person and work of Jesus Christ. Right now, worship for me is about the ongoing journey of living into the rhythms and habits and practices that are part of a really diverse and rich tradition of the church. I'm especially drawn to liturgy, despite the fact that I was raised and minister in a very low church tradition, and in fact in traditions that are often very suspicious and even critical of liturgy. But for me, personally, things like observing the church year and daily fixed times of prayer and a whole host of other practices and disciplines have really come to form and shape me. And then those in turn inform how I lead the larger body of the congregation that I serve. So, for example, the daily prayer offices in the Book of Common Prayer are a daily staple for me personally, and they have been for several years now. And so I creatively employ some of the prayers and liturgies of the Book of Common Prayer within my ministry context, as well as draw on other resources that are part of the diverse and rich tradition of Christian spirituality. It's really common for me to lead our congregation in guided meditations or responsive liturgical prayers on Sunday morning. We celebrate communion the first Sunday of every month at my church, which in and of itself is pretty radical for my tradition. If I had my way, we would actually do weekly Eucharist, but we're not quite ready for that yet. So we do it the first Sunday of every month. But at my church, we do a full Eucharistic liturgy. That is, with some minor adjustments, essentially Eucharistic Prayer A right out of the Book of Common Prayer. Last year during Lent, we did a Thursday night Vesper service where we sat in the round together amidst a whole bunch of candles that were lit, and we simply prayed evening prayer right out of the Book of Common Prayer together. During Advent every year, we provide, there's this little prayer booklet, it's called Sacred Space, which is a Catholic guide to contemplative prayer, and we provide those to people in our congregation and encourage them to use them as a spiritual tool, as a resource during Advent and other seasons of the church year. So in short, my current worship practice personally is very contemplative, it's very liturgical. And then corporately at the church I lead, it's really interesting. We are contemporary, yet we're contemplative. We are casual, yet we're reverent. We are low church, yet we're liturgical. It's a really fascinating journey. I look forward to learning together with all of you this quarter, and I especially look forward to our time together in Houston.